Power Trip.
We're live on
Um,
Facebook.
This is going to be the NFL Week 3 recap and
Oh,
Week
God.
4 predictions.
Pick'ems.
Let's just start it out now. It was a pretty terrible week for all three of our teams, but we'll kind of get there as we go.
At least basketball's going well for this guy.
Yeah, you're the Heat fan there.
Oh, come on, Lakers gonna win.
Yeah, Lakers probably going to win.
No. The old man LeBron can't do it.
LeBron versus his old team, man. It's going to be a good one. I think you guys will be all right.
D Wade's picking the Heat.
You got to, though, if you'd wait.
They probably start burning his jerseys.
Yeah, I know, right? But, anywho, the very first game was the Thursday night game, Dolphins at Jaguars. The Dolphins won that 31-13.
It was the beard versus the stash,
Fitz magic.
and the beard prevailed.
Yep.
And he put on a show, kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
It was pretty good.
It was the Dolphins' first win of the season. They're now 1-2. Jaguars fall to 1-2 because they were 1-1. So, like you said, what is there to say about this game? Two of the bottom barrel
True.
AFC South teams.
It's odd because the Dolphins last year, towards the end, they looked like they were starting to
Pick it up.
pick it up a little bit, and now they're kind of.
They're kind of.
I mean, they beat the Jags, but it's the Jags.
It's something. It's a win. I don't really know what else to say about it. Like you said, beard
No.
versus stash, and beard prevailed.
I did watch the post game afterward, and Ryan Fitzpatrick was out there, and he had his shirt unbuttoned with his chest hair, and like they were talking to him from like NFL Network or something. He's like, "Hey man, I just figured I got it. I might as well rock it." And he said, "And ladies, I'm taken."
And then he give a shout out to his wife. And
Yeah.
kids.
He said, "Put the kids home or put the kids to bed early tonight. I'm coming home," or something like that.
Oh my god.
That's I love that guy.
Well,
He's hilarious.
that's awesome.
I guess kind of take after 31-13. Do you guys think they should hold off on Tua still?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody
little
realistically think they're not gonna make the playoffs? Probably.
I think it's up to the coach. I do think you let him sit for a little bit. You know, Mahomes sat. Aaron Rodgers sat. I think Rodgers sat for a couple years, actually. Mahomes sat for 1 year.
Now, here's another question on the flip. Do you think Minshew's still the franchise quarterback?
I don't know.
I think he's a guy that he has his moments, but I don't think he's ever gonna be.
I think you could build around him, but I think the Jaguars are almost in rebuild mode.
Well, look at Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, his career's been a backup. But
Journeyman.
he's actually had pretty good stat numbers. I mean, for being a backup.
Well, I think.
And I would say Fitzpatrick's better than Minshew.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I
And
think
he's
I
not a
would agree with
starter regularly.
there was some stat I think we shared. This was a while ago, but I think it said if Fitzpatrick would have been a starter all his whole tenure, he would be up there with
Some of the top 10.
Yeah, around there with I think Brett Favre career wise.
He's always
Passing
been
yards
a
wise.
guy that like when he is in there starting, it seems like he has like 5 games in a row or something
And
where
then
he's like
crashes.
really good and then he kind of comes down.
Yeah.
Kind of like Foles, which I guess
Yeah.
we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
On to the Sunday games. I'll let you take it.
We had the Texans at the Steelers. Steelers won that one 28-21. Wasn't a huge shocker.
Yep, not a big shocker.
Steelers defense is pretty good, and the Texans offensive line is still having lots of problems.
There was a stat for that game. That's the first time in NFL history that all 3 brothers have played in the game.
Yep,
Oh,
the Watt
Watts.
brothers. Yep.
JJ's on the Texans. Derek and TJ are on the Steelers.
So Steelers now moved to 3-0, and the Texans are 0-3. So
Ooh, we'll talk about that in a minute. Steelers being 3-0.
No, I'm talking
They're
about
division leaders now, bud.
I'm talking about.
It's a long season, though. It's a long season. So we'll let you take the next one.
You had the Bengals and the Eagles. Battle of the winless.
and they're kind of still winless.
They're still winless. They tied 23-23.
So, I don't know if you take this as a win for Burrow or not.
It's
You sure didn't lose.
no, he didn't lose. Yeah, you take it one game at a time. Burrow's still growing, though. I think there's
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of positives there.
No, the biggest thing I think is with wins.
Yeah, the Eagles should have cleaned the Bengals up.
You know
That's
what's weird? A
odd.
couple years ago, they were talking about Wentz. You know, it could be like an MVP,
Yep, franchise quarterback. He's the
And
guy. He's the
now
next.
now a lot of people are saying they need to bench him, but it's like 3 games in. It's hard.
Yeah,
to,
you don't bench him yet, but yeah, I agree.
I think
That's-
another something to add on to. I think Godert's out a couple weeks with an ankle injury.
Dallas Goddard, yeah.
Mhm.
Now,
Well, they got hurt, but
do you guys think if they continue on this and they go 0-6, do you put Jalen Hurst in there?
Yeah,
probably.
I would.
Just to see what he can bring.
Mm-hmm. But that's only if they start
You know,
that bad.
No.
Cowboys fans hoping they are.
At least the division's wide open.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the Cowboys.
So
we'll
the
get to that though.
Bengals and Eagles are both 0-2-1 now. So
Mhm. Next up was the 1-1 49ers at the 0-2 Giants.
So this was pretty much the 49ers bench versus the Giants.
Yeah, the 49ers did have a lot of injuries, but it wasn't much of a game.
And look at
49ers 49ers won 36-9. So
Nick Mullins, baby. What is happening? Are the
I don't
Giants that bad
I
that
guess.
they're getting
But
decimated?
they lost Barkley.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
Mr.
I mean,
Nine,
get-
Mr. 9 yards. I walk more than that going to the fridge and back.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the fantasy help there, Barkley.
But
First pick.
Barkley's done for the season. Giants are 0-3. Eagles are 0-2-1. The NFC East is just. I think I seen a stat that said the NFC East overall with all 4 teams is 2-9-1. Just terrible. Just terrible this year.
Looks like they're not getting the extra
On the flip side, the 49ers are
who we thought they were.
2-1. They are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Bench warmers.
Yeah, they blew the Giants out. But like you said, who are the Giants really? 49ers 2-1 though. It's a
With
good
all
place
with
to
all
be.
those
3 games
backups,
in.
it's-
With kind of looking at it, like, if you're the Giants, I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they end up getting one of those top picks, I would see them taking Fields or Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like one of the New York teams is going to have the number 1 pick.
Yeah. New York is 0-6.
Could
Because
we-
the Jets are 0-3 as well.
Could we see the two New York teams have 1 and 2?
That would be wild. I wonder if that's ever happened before.
It might.
Same state or city
You know.
having the back-to-back picks.
Next game, we had the Raiders at the Patriots. Patriots won that one 36-20.
They were running wild.
They were
Yep.
seemed like the second half's when they really picked it back
Mhm.
up, but Cam's doing well there. I mean,
Then the
I had
Raiders,
doubts, but
Raiders defense is kind of
Yeah,
well,
kinda
they
iffy.
had some injuries. Some of their corners, I think, got hurt in that game.
I was
so.
thinking the Raiders starting 2-0. They beat the Saints. Man, I was thinking, oh man, Raiders gonna win this one. Patriots are on the down slot. No, Patriots get the win.
So
Man.
now the Raiders and the Patriots are both 2-1 now.
Yep.
So see what happens. But this next one, oh my gosh,
Here we go.
it started out so well.
going into halftime. It was good.
Titans and the Vikings.
2-0 Titans, 0-2 Vikings.
Titans won 31-30.
It was a close game.
It was close, and then it kind of all fell apart in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Got some Falcons
Oh, and-
vibes there. I'm joking.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let it rip, man.
Vikings moved to 0-3.
Tell us your feelings.
I don't know where to begin, man. I think the play calling's terrible. I know you're missing a lot of people in the defense, so I understand that. I understand giving up points, but the offense is not clicking like it was last year. Justin Jefferson had a big breakout game, and then the second half they didn't really throw the ball to him. Dalvin Cook was running well. Second half they kind of stopped running the ball. Their offensive line. I saw 2 of the guys on the offensive line. I think the center, Garrett Bradbury, Pro Football Focus rated him 28 out of 100 on his grading.
Yeah.
And the right guard, Drew Samia, was a 1.1 out of 100. That was his grade. Dead last. Terrible. I mean, their offensive line is bad, but Cousins holds the ball way too long.
He's not getting through his
I
progressions
watch
fast
it,
enough.
and he doesn't sense pressure. But I watch other quarterbacks, and they make things happen, you know what I mean? But he's back there like statue half the time. And it's like, throw the ball, and he's just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do something, make something happen. You're getting paid all that money. Mm-hmm. You should be able to make something happen.
Then kind of with Cousins, he doesn't really have that speed to break up on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
No. But it's just a mess right now. And I honestly think a lot of it's play calling. There is offensive line problems, but I see other quarterbacks with bad offensive lines play pretty well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Watson last year.
Watson's always moving.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they should have extended Cousins. I think the only reason they did it was to save money this year, so they could sign Michael Pierce, who opted out, which is an issue. Then you got Danielle Hunter. I heard he's got a herniated disc in his neck.
Uh-oh.
And he's eligible to come back this week, but I don't think he's going to. And at this point, if you lose another game, do you bring him back? Is it worth bringing him back for a lost season? When you're dealing with a neck injury,
right?
Is it worth?
Yeah.
You might as well recoup the injury and just.
I mean, I'm on board right now. I think I don't want to say they're not going to tank because there's too much talent to tank.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not
contract-wise, players don't. I really do not believe players.
Well, no, because they're playing for contracts.
Right, they're playing for contracts, so.
Then, especially with next off season, depending on how the COVID hits, the salary cap might be in a fluctuation.
Yeah, which that's another issue that we got to get into, the COVID thing. That popped up today.
The team that played you guys.
Yeah, the Titans had, what was it, eight positive cases?
8 positive cases.
On personnel and players.
I don't know who the players were.
We
don't know if they've revealed that yet.
But since the Vikings played them, they've closed down both facilities, Titans and Vikings facilities, and they're trying to figure out what's going on.
And the Texans, since we already talked about them a few games ago, the Texans are still practicing. The Vikings have been quarantined.
Yeah, and that's who they play this week.
Is that fair that they get to continue to practice and continue? Granted, they're 0-3.
Yeah.
You guys are 0-3 as well, but is that fair that they get to what you guys have to be quarantined?
Really, this whole thing's a big mess because I don't think nobody really knows what to do.
Right.
Because what happens? Do they cancel the games? Do they just not
play with the second string? Right. Yeah. Just play with who's left.
Well, I mean,
because you have to dress so many, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess my way about it is, if the Vikings all tested negative, why can't they show up?
Right.
No, but granted, today they might be negative, tomorrow they could be positive.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to cause a lot of problems this season, especially if you start getting key players that have to sit out.
I think so as well. Quarterback has to go down, and then the
when the playoffs start.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're the 49ers, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, 49ers too. But anyways, about the whole 0-3 thing, like you said, you guys aren't tanking. You're thinking, you're going to win 5 to 7 games?
They will. I mean, there's too much. I mean, I looked at the schedule. There's some games I think that
are winnable.
I don't think they can lose. Really, to be honest with you.
Right.
That's what the Eagles thought about the Bengals.
Yeah, and really, they were in that game. I mean, they lost by a point.
Right.
But
it's just to close out games.
Yeah. They have this thing though where, especially since Zimmer's been there, they make the playoffs. The next year they don't make the playoffs. Next year they make the playoffs. Then they don't make the playoffs. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's weird.
So really, what? Because I only watched the first half. What happened in the second half? Was it Henry, or was it more Tannehill?
It was more just bonehead plays by the offense. I mean, Cousins is already at 6 interceptions for the year. That's how many he had all year last year. In 3 games. You know what I mean?
That's 2 a game if you average it.
Yeah. And Gostkowski made like 6 field goals or something.
Good old Gostkowski.
So I mean, it was.
Now sitting right now, you're 0-3. Do you think it was worth trading for Yannick?
I think it is if he ends up signing next off season. Mm-hmm. I think this is a wash this year. I just don't think. I really think they need to draft a quarterback, but the problem is unless they're in the top couple picks, they're not.
It's not going to be there, right?
I know we've talked about. I think the smart move would be getting Rosen. even to somebody. He's young. You don't have to pay him a whole lot, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I thought that a while back, but I honestly think they need a new coach. I like Zimmer, but he kind of throws everyone else under the bus when he does his press conferences. He said something about the offense was a disaster. He never puts blame on himself. It's always like, well, these guys didn't play well. This didn't. It's never like, well, this is my fault. If you see Mike Tomlin or some of those others, they're like, it's my fault. I should have coached this game better. He never says that. It's always like, oh, it's that guy. It's this guy.
Now, do you think, because your GM, he's on a 3-year deal, right, too?
Yeah.
Do you think now they will slaughter the whole house and get?
I don't know. I think he's decent as a GM. He's drafted a lot of good players. I mean, it's
coach
just
has to change.
I just think you need somebody younger in there. You need a new offensive mind,
More modern, fresh mind.
Really, to be honest with you, defense doesn't win championships anymore. I don't think. I mean,
if you can have a high
used
scoring
to,
offense.
Yeah, and they're too old school. You got Zimmer calling the defense. You got Gary Kubiak calling the offense, and it doesn't work anymore. I don't think. I mean, you got to get somebody new in there. That's my thought. But
I agree with you. Is there anything else you got, or is
there's always next year.
Yeah. Skull. Any other feelings you got on, or you want to move on to the next one?
I'm good.
All right. On to the next one. The 1-1 football team at the 1-1 Browns.
Every week, football team, I laugh.
Yeah. The Browns won it 34-20. So I took the football team to win. I was confident in them, but the Browns won. So
Baker.
Good old Baker.
Is the Browns finally?
No.
It's the football team.
I mean,
who they beat last week?
The other football team?
No, it was somebody easy. It was an easy game.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. But anyways, 1-1 football team at the 1-1 Browns. Browns got the victory, 34-20. Man,
I do enjoy Baker's commercials.
Yeah. With the whole him cleaning the stadium and the bathrooms and all that.
Probably the biggest thing for the football team was Chase Young got hurt.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I don't know the details on it. I think it was a groin, if I remember right.
Right. I'm not sure what it was either, but you guys don't think the Browns are real? They're not legit?
They should be. I don't know. I mean, I said this last year.
I think with the Browns is they'll be in third. In the division.
Steelers and Ravens.
Yeah. That division's hard right now, but could they sneak in as a wild card?
Maybe with the 7.
Get that extra playoff spot.
Right, with the 7 seed, maybe. I guess nothing else really to say about that one. On to the next one, which was the battle of the
2-0.
The 2-0s. Rams at Bills. The Bills won this 35-32 in a barn burner.
Josh Allen's out there looking like an MVP candidate. What the hell's going on?
Good old Diggs.
Oh, we got Diggs. That's what.
Yeah, you got Diggs, man. But the Bills are just. The Bills looked good last year.
Yeah.
And they're 3-0 now this year. So is this finally the season that the Bills or someone else takes it from New England?
I don't think it's possible.
I'd say so.
I still think New England's going to be challenging.
I think New England's good, but I don't think they're better than the Bills.
I'm taking the Bills to win this division. I think the Bills are going to go 11-5, 12-4, and then the Patriots would be right under them at 10-6.
I think it'd be different if the Patriots didn't have everybody opt out on the defense.
Right.
Certain individuals they lost. So,
but
next one, the 2-0 Bears and the 0-2 Falcons.
How'd the Bears keep pulling these out?
Well, this was another Falcons meltdown. The Bears, I actually watched this game. I was flipping between. Well, this was the only game on at 1 o'clock. The CBS didn't fucking have a game on.
It's not if you have a Sunday ticket.
Yeah, if you have a Sunday ticket. So this was the only game on for our area. I did watch this game. The Bears pulled this out 30-26. The Falcons completely melted down, man.
What is going on with that?
They haven't been right since the Super Bowl, really.
Is it Dan Quinn?
Yeah.
It was with about 3 or 4 minutes to go. The Falcons had the lead, and they kept fucking passing the ball and throwing incompletions. Even if you just run it and don't get anything, That's 40
What
seconds.
does that sound like?
Yeah, that's 40 seconds that tick off the clock. But they threw a couple incomplete passes and then punted it. Then the Bears scored. And then they fucking did the same thing again. So that's 6 plays that you could have had 40, 40, 40, 40.
Well,
all that
they
time
think we're
or
gonna run.
timeouts. You know what I mean? Like
We're gonna pass 12 times.
I don't know what the Falcons are thinking, man. The head coach, I don't know what it is, but it was just a
Well, it's
meltdown.
obvious play calling. I mean, somebody's
They need to get rid
play.
of Quinn. And then here's another thing. To sum up the season for the Falcons, look at that onside kick.
Yep.
Hey, look at that ball. Just let it go. Just
Bears
let
are
it go.
3-0, challenging the division right now. Falcons 0-3.
And the other big news in that, Mitch Trubisky got benched.
Yep.
And Nick Foles comes in and saves the day, right? For what, 3 games maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Throws 3. Well, hey, that's 6
He's not
now.
going to last.
So he threw, 3 touchdowns? And
Yep.
one of them there was a controversial call
Yeah.
saying that was the first one he came in and he got intercepted, but did it really?
Bears are doing well, but I mean, I don't
Yeah.
see Foles staying
Staying
healthy enough. He's just not going to. He never does.
The biggest thing with going on with the Bears, they're not going to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Yeah.
You're right,
As
it's gotta
much
be
as much
hard.
as I hate to admit it, I mean the Packers they're looking really good right now, and they're winning that division. So, Lions, we'll talk about them in a little bit, but
Good old Lions.
The 4 o'clock game, the very first 4 o'clock game, Panthers at 0-2 Panthers at 1-1 Chargers. I think we all had the Chargers winning this one. We were thinking the Panthers weren't much. The Panthers pulled it out 21-16.
that's
Which
their first one.
it's kind of weird. The Chargers can go toe to toe with Mahomes.
And
And
then
then-
lose to the 0-2 Panthers.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
They're another one of those teams that always seems like they're going to be better than they are, and then they lose a lot of games they should win. It's weird. They've always been like that.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about this game other than a few highlights here and there. I didn't really watch that game,
Yeah.
but I just know the score and all that. Like you said, I don't know what's going on with the Chargers.
Herbert didn't get his lung punctured.
Yeah, the Panthers, as far as that, I mean, are they going to start, are they going to start rolling a little bit here?
Oh, man.
I don't know.
There was a clip that came out on the sideline, and Robbie Anderson was talking to somebody else and said something about the bear, about their mascot. He was out there dancing. He's like, who was that? What's that bear? And his other teammate says, that's a panther.
That's terrible.
What team am I on?
The next workout game was the 0-2 Jets at the 1-1 Colts. I believe we all took the Colts on this one as well, and not a shocker, the Colts dominated this game, 36-7.
God, how freaking bad are the Jets?
Now there
The
is
Jets are bad.
one good thing that came out of this. The Giants scored more than the Jets.
Yeah. I think you were saying that Phillip Rivers is leading the league
And,
in accuracy.
yep, passing
73 or 74%
Yeah, give or take.
at percentage. So he's hitting 3 out of every 4 passes.
which is weird.
Yeah.
Good old Phillip Rivers.
But
Well,
I mean, it's
in
only
all
3 games
fairness,
in.
he does have a better offensive line
Mhm.
than he had with the Chargers.
Mhm.
So he has a lot more time to throw the ball. Weapons wise, I don't know. He had some really good weapons with the Chargers.
I think the
but-
Chargers have the stronger offense. Well, receiving core.
So that pushes the Jets to 0-3 and the Colts to 2-1. But if I'm correct, the Colts 2 wins and their 1 loss was a competitive loss.
Yeah.
They didn't get blown out or whatever. So I think this is the Colts and Titans in this division is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
The Jets, I mean, they're
Adam Gase.
the word dumpster fire comes to mind.
Is Sam Darnold, before we go on to the next one, is Sam Darnold the answer there?
No.
No, but I don't know. But what has he got?
Right? He has nothing surrounding him.
He lost his right tackle. I think his left tackle's hurt.
They
His
lost,
center's
was it
was
mostly
gone.
on defense?
His center was hurt this week. Wasn't Bell out?
Bell's out.
Bell's out. One of it.
Both
Rashad Perryman was out.
Both the receivers are out.
Yeah, I mean,
tight ends out.
And he has nothing.
He's got nothing to work with.
Yeah,
How do you know?
yeah,
somebody?
you know what? You can give all the excuses in the world. Look at the 49ers. Look at Mullen. Mullen.
That's true.
Still got the one?
But
So do you blame Adam Gase?
well,
I think Adam Gase is going to be fired
I think
before the year's over.
it'll be between him Patricia.
But how many years do you give Darnold? How long does this rebuild take? Do you give it another 2 years, let him go through this year, and then give him another 2, and then if something doesn't start firing off
I think he's done.
within those next 2 years, then you get rid of Darnold?
I really think if they end up getting a top pick, I think they take a quarterback.
Right.
Then do they
And
trade
then just
Darnold?
move Darnold, right? Just trade him or bench him down to second string.
Because he's on what? This is the 3rd year, so he's a first round. So he's got 4 years, if not a 5th year option. So they'll have at least another year.
Here's the Jets' problem, though. Why take a quarterback?
Why not build around
Your
Darnold?
team right now is not good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
And
I'm
you-
getting at.
and
Give
you-
him a
and
year or
If
2.
you think Darnold is the guy, which a lot of people thought he was going to be really good, but he doesn't have anything to work with.
Yeah, USC quarterbacks are shit, anyways.
So I don't know. But you can't keep jumping quarterback. Okay, I'm going to draft this quarterback. Then 3 years later, I'm going to draft this quarterback. I'm going to draft this quarterback.
You have to give that. You have to build around one guy and give him time. When the Colts took Peyton Manning, he didn't have such a great start. It's like 3-13 his first year, but you did see progression, like 3-13, 5-11, 8 and then they started getting good. Then they went to the Super Bowl like 05, 06.
But the biggest thing with that is look at what Manning had weapon wise.
Right.
But
You're saying that Manning was going into a decent situation.
But if you look, I mean, Jets, this team has not been good for
Right.
I mean,
a long, long time.
since Chad Pennington.
Yeah, Chad Pennington. No, but I mean, there's a problem there. Kind of like the Browns had problems for years,
Right.
and how they have a really good lineup now, and they're still not really doing what they're supposed to.
Right.
I mean, and if you look
Starts
at
from the head coach
you
down.
look at the defense, they traded Jamal Adams. C.J. Mosley's out. Peanuts out. The other middle linebacker they signed. I mean, they're losing. There's nothing on that defense anymore.
There's nothing on the offense, nothing on the defense. I'm with you.
And they're getting blown out.
It's a battle of New York. Maybe what they can do is they can combine both the New York teams.
Take all the best players and put them in one.
On to the next one.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
The 1-1 Cowboys faced off against the 2-0 Seahawks. We all took the Seahawks to win this game. Even though I was hoping and praying that I was wrong on my pick'ems, the Seahawks did win it 38-31 in a barn burning. It was a hell of a game. The Cowboys were competitive. It was a game all the way to the end. I will give them that. Cowboys are now 1-2. Seahawks 3-0. I guess I'm going to vent it out a little bit here. There's some positives and negatives here. The Cowboys are at one amazing comeback victory with onside kick at the end of the game, bullshit craziness. We're one victory, like crazy miraculous victory. Crazy. Yeah, we're one. That shouldn't have happened. That victory, we're that one victory away from being 0-3.
Yeah.
We should be 0-3 right now. Now you can say the Rams game. You can say as a blown call. Maybe we win the Rams game. So even if we win the Rams game, we should have lost the Falcons game. We're sitting at 1-2. But we should be. We're one fucking game away from being 0-3.
The only good news is your division's terrible.
That's what. Yeah, earlier I said we're 2-9-1 right now. The division's terrible. This division can be won at 8-8. Should they even let a division winner in at 8-8, 7-9? They always have historically.
Yeah.
But should that change? Should it just become
Should it go by record?
best teams?
We
in
talked
the
about
league?
that last year. Like I said, I think you should just play all the NFC teams,
And then just
and then whoever is the top,
the top 7 teams.
7 teams. That's
Regardless
who
of
makes
division.
the playoffs.
Anyways, it does go by divisions, so that's just the way we're stuck with. But we're so close to being 0-3, it's ridiculous. The positives are Dak in that Rams game. He threw the pass that there was a flag on. That throw was on a dime in the clutch in the fourth quarter, late game situation. So I feel that Dak has what it takes to make the right throw when it's needed. But we're just not playing all 4 quarters.
Yeah, that one. What game was it? Was it the week before this, where they had like a terrible first half.
Yep,
like
that was the Falcons game.
Yeah, fumbles and
Was it
Yep.
4 turnovers?
it looked like two different teams.
We're not putting complete games together. But like I said, the positives is Dak is playing okay.
He's leading passing yards.
Yeah, he hasn't been terrible. He just hasn't been winning.
No.
And then Aldon Smith on defense is leading the league in sacks.
He's getting back to what
So-
he used to.
so-
That always worries me with him though, because he's came back a few times.
And
He's
been
playing-
dominant.
He played for the Raiders there for a little
Mhm.
while, and he was playing really well, and then he slipped up again. And
So that's the couple positives I have. The negatives, like I said, is that we're so close to being 0-3 that it's ridiculous. And I just feel that on defense, now we have the kind of issue that you guys have. We don't have the defensive backs. We've got a real good front seven, solid line, and solid linebackers. Now, granted, a couple of them are out right now.
yeah,
But we're decent up front, but we just suck in the secondary. Our defense is terrible, and our offense has just been making boneheaded mistakes, like the Vikings.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what I have to vent about. Is like I said, I'm trying to look at the positives. We're in a bad division. Dak is playing okay, and we got a defensive star potentially with Aldon Smith. He's back to his 2015 form. But how long is that going to last?
no.
Is there anything you guys want to say? Because I kind of said what I needed to say.
I know
about it.
I sent this off.
Mhm.
It was off screen, but did you see about was it Clarence Hill posted? Jerry Jones came out and said about Dak Prescott
He's not being Tony Romo.
what it,
Oh,
the
yeah.
actual the verbiage is. Jerry Jones says Dak Prescott not being able to pull off the last play of the game against the Seattle Seahawks is the difference between he and Patrick Mahomes or even Tony Romo. They could have pulled it off. Did I hear that correctly?
I don't know.
That's throwing some shade at your quarterback.
That is throwing some shade at him. He's losing the games, but like I said, I think he's played okay. But he is making some boneheaded mistakes.
You know,
I don't know what else to say about it. We're so close to being 0-3, dude. I'm glad that we beat the Falcons. I'm glad that we got that win. That staves us off from being winless. But
You think if if they keep losing or whatever,
he's not gonna get a contract.
You think he's gonna bring Andy Dalton in?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were talking.
No,
I thought you were leaving with the contract.
No, I mean
You're saying like if we start 2-4, 2-5,
or 1-5
or 1-5.
I guess
Yeah, I could see that.
my question is,
I could see Dalton coming in.
It seems like Dak kind of puts the numbers up.
He had 476 yards or something, but he loses the game.
But the way it's looking right now is you went from Jason Garrett to McCartney. It's pretty much an even move of what it seems like right now.
Yeah,
That offense is
McCarthy hasn't really. He was supposed to come in and change things up, and we were going to dominate.
And you got
we've
more
been
weapons.
losing.
You've got more weapons now.
Yeah, we even added C.D. Lamb and got Cooper's locked into a contract.
Zeke.
Zeke's locked into a contract.
I mean, really, you've got two receivers. It seems like every week right now it's going over 100 yards.
Yeah.
If not damn near close.
Yeah, we've got the weapons. I don't know what's wrong. I really don't.
What I would say is wrong. I think you need to get rid of Kellen Moore as your offense coordinator. You need a different coordinator in there.
Right.
That'd probably
I can see that.
I could see that being some kind of a fix.
And like I said, I as a Cowboys fan, but I still try to not be biased. You know, I try to be open-minded.
Well, McCarthy's
You know what I
calling
mean?
most of the stuff, I'd imagine, isn't he?
So
Well, I think Kellen Moore, because they wanted to keep Dak with the same coordinator.
my last thing I'm going to say is I hope that this is just kind of a 3-game slip. Like, I'm hoping that we can get it dialed in. It is a long season. There's still 13 more games to play.
No.
I'm hoping and praying that this was just kind of a 3-game. We kind of a bump. Yeah, we didn't open the season well. There's still time. Like I said, we've got talent.
No.
So we just have to get it dialed in. We got to play 4 quarters. We can't be starting down by 14. We need to jump out to leads, not down. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the last thing I'll say about it. We can move on unless you have.
Well, I
something
know,
else.
kind of going back to that last play where he threw the interception.
Mhm.
I feel I know Dak wants the money, but to me personally, if anybody else is making that throw, if it's Patrick Mahomes, if it's Aaron Rodgers, if it's Russell Wilson,
He's not throwing it into 4-person coverage.
But I would even go on and probably say about Drew Brees. I think it gets caught.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, sometimes, I don't know, to me it kind of looked like Dak just threw it up there.
Yeah, that's what he did, because there was 4 Seattle guys in front of the Dallas guy.
So other side of the field, probably would have been, I think it was Cooper was on the other side and it was man.
Might have been a one-on-one over there. That would have been a more realistic jump ball.
On the flip side, though,
Seattle. Yeah, we didn't even talk about Seattle.
Seahawks are 3-0 now. I mean, every year they're
Russell Wilson's cooking.
Yep.
Yeah, every
Wilson
year
threw 5 touchdowns, and he now holds the NFL record for the fastest 3-game start in history. He's got 14 touchdowns through 3 games. That is an NFL record.
I think what it said right now is he's on pace for 74, which there's no way it'll happen.
The top in the ever was 55 by Manning, so he ain't gonna hit 74.
Well,
but that is a hell of a pace, man.
Even if they end up getting to 11, and I mean if they start going undefeated, they'll sit him probably a game or 2.
Right. Here's the question though: he's on pace for 74. If he can keep some type of fucking pace, like does he throw 50?
That's fine.
Is he the next
fantasy championship?
Yeah. But I'm saying, is he the next 50 touchdown quarterback?
I can see.
Because we've only had a couple in history.
Probably.
I can see it.
I could see him making it.
I think this might be the year we see Russell Wilson get an MVP.
Right. If he keeps this up, he might fall off. You're gonna have a few bad games, but if he has a few bad games and then comes right back up, just keeps that consistency going, then yeah.
Because if you think really about in his favor is if you start going like the 49ers, well, Bosa's out. They got a lot more injuries.
Team-wise,
they're a weaker team than what they
And the Rams are kind of
they're a
back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the Cardinals? Was that the other team?
Yeah, I think so. On to the next one. Buccaneers at Broncos. 1-1 Bucks, 0-2 Broncos. Buccaneers cleaned this one up 28-10. Brady looked sharp.
Yeah.
There's not really much else to say about it. Broncos fucking look terrible. They're 0-3 now.
They've got Driscoll playing. And I saw today that they're going to bench him in the next game and bring in Brett Rippon or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, who's that?
The Broncos are a mess.
Yeah.
Because they went.
This wasn't a shocker for the
went
Bucks to win this.
Like Bortles. Did we see Bortles come in?
I don't know. They said they were having somebody else.
Talk about it.
I don't know.
Which
I don't know. Buccaneers,
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I'm still not 100% sold on them.
Mm-hmm.
They looked okay, but then again, they're playing the Broncos.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The Bucks cleaned it up 28-10.
Broncos still not really doing anything.
Well, they actually came out. Bruce Arians came out because they asked him, I guess, in the press conference about Gronk, and he said Gronk's role was blocking, and that's it.
That's very weird because New England had him all over the place.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if.
Maybe it's just until he gets into better football shape. I don't know.
Well, I think he's having a hard time getting the playbook. I think he's just which is odd to say if professional football players like, I can't get this playbook.
Well, I mean, really, if you think about it, you're running. If he's a tight end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you put him as like a receiver 3 or 4, and a 4-wide set, it can't be that hard just to run a route.
No, you wouldn't think.
I mean,
you never know. We're not.
He's like one of the best tight ends.
Right.
In forever.
Then,
I mean,
even another thing is what helps his case is they have Brady, because even Brady could okay, hey, we did this in New England. He knows this player what route to run.
Yeah, you would think that they would do something.
But they're just not doing it.
Anyways, Bucks 2-1, Broncos 0-3. Like I said, it wasn't much of a shocker there.
I guess the Broncos could be in line. They can take a quarterback.
Yeah, thinking Broncos, Jets, Giants, maybe. I think the Giants have a little more talent than the Jets. But yeah, Broncos could definitely be in line for that.
Well, I'm starting to think more of Broncos wise. I don't think Von Miller will be on that team next year. Granted, he had an injury, but
you thought Jaguars early on, but they ended up surprising us week 1. On to the next one, the 0-2 Lions at the 2-0 Cardinals.
This was a shocker.
We were all high on the Cardinals, and then the Lions won this one late, 26-23. So Matt Stafford, which is my comeback player of the year, I gotta keep mentioning that. He got their first win for him, so...
I picked Gronk,
yeah, me too,
So Stafford finally looking a little better, so...
Pretty much the highlight for the Lions, Akuda played finally, and he had an interception.
And they beat a good team, so, I mean... It wasn't like they were playing the Jets.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it
The
was
Broncos.
it's a good one for the Lions, even though they're in your division. Cardinals, though, I mean, started hot and then lost this one. It's only one game, though. So
Yeah. Sunday night game, we had the Packers at the Saints,
2-0 versus 1-1.
and the Packers won 37-30.
Without
Yeah, it's
Devontae
terrible.
Adams.
Yeah.
I took the Saints for you, but they lost. So
Kamara's
you took the Packers. That was a
I
smart
took the
move.
Packers. Yeah.
I took the Packers. Kamara's a one-man band.
Yeah.
So Packers
He
are
tore it
3-0 with the Bears is 3-0, and then Vikings 0-3.
I think the Saints are
Lions
kind of.
1-2.
They're on the downward
Yeah,
spiral.
I don't even know if I don't even know if they'll win that division.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
They'll
Saints are
probably
1-2
they'll
now.
probably make the playoffs, but
But Packers being 3-0, are they who we thought they were?
they might be a little better than I thought they were going to be. To be honest with you,
There's the question. You know the Packers took Jordan Love with their first-round pick.
Very odd.
Do you think?
Very odd
Do you
choice.
think sitting in it right now? Do you think they're like maybe that was the wrong move?
Because I think
I thought it was the
I don't
wrong
know,
move
man.
when they did it.
I did too. I do think they should have taken a wide receiver, one of the top tier wide receivers, just because Rodgers never really. They've never taken a high powered receiver,
Trying to think.
high caliber
they said
receiver in the draft at least. Maybe they've signed one in free agency, but
Rodgers has only thrown one touchdown pass to a first-round
yeah,
receiver.
that's what I'm talking about. Like he's never really
I
had
can't-
that first round
I can't
receiver.
remember who it is.
I can't remember either.
I think it starts with an M. I
But
want to say it's a tight end though.
here's the flip side, though.
I don't know.
Here's
How
the
long
flip
ago?
side. We're all saying, well, he should have took a wide receiver. But what if by taking the quarterback, that pissed Aaron Rodgers off?
Maybe.
And because he was kind of falling off the last 2 years. Yeah, the shoulder injury. And then he had a kind of a sucky year last. What if this lit a fire under his ass saying, well, maybe my job isn't as secure as I thought it was?
Yeah.
Well, if you're thinking about it, I think,
Well, look at how he
Because
got
it is a
into-
business.
Look how he got into the starting role.
Well, I was
Right.
gonna- I was
By
gonna-
far.
Behind Favre.
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he around the same age when Rodgers took over for Favre?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen, but
Right.
It's not going to happen
But
right now.
that's what I'm saying. Like with Rodgers playing like he's playing, I think it lit a fire under his ass to let's get this season
But-
going
but he
the
could
right way.
But he could be one injury away from
Right.
the Jordan Love.
And maybe that's one reason they took Jordan Love. We'll never know. We're not the
And,
GMs,
I know
but
another thing, and it's odd. The Packers can always develop receivers. Now,
even if
granted,
they're not a first round,
and
yeah.
the another team that can do it's the Steelers. I don't know how or why, but they're just Vikings is another one,
Diggs,
which is
Thielen.
you think that all these first round receivers would become great, but half the time normally it's like an
Second,
undrafted,
and third
like Thielen.
rounders, right?
Yeah.
Or undrafted.
Mhm.
So
Now, do you guys think is this Drew Brees? Is he finally?
I think so.
Is he got the Brady effect now?
I think he's on the down.
I think he is too. I think the Saints will finish 11-5. I'm gonna take them around there.
there's
I don't
a lot
think
of
they're
talent
going,
on that team.
I don't
so-
think they're going 13-3 or 12-4. I think they're gonna go 11-5 or maybe 10-6.
Now, the way I feel about it, I don't think the Saints that we've been seeing, they're not going to beat the Packers.
No.
They won't touch the Seahawks.
They didn't beat the Raiders.
They won't beat the Niners, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Well, if the Niners get back to full health, they're not beating the Niners.
They won't beat the Bears.
I
Yeah.
don't know about that.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. They're not the number 1, number 2 seed anymore. They're going to be a wild card.
They'll be a wild card and they'll probably be out the first round.
Yeah, just enough to get in and be back out the door.
I agree.
And then Breeze might be gone after this year.
Okay, so the final game of the week.
This guy didn't want to talk about this.
Bad.
Me and Brandon has already went through the Vikings and Cowboys frustrations. On to the 2-0 Chiefs at the 2-0 Ravens. We all were rooting for your Ravens, man, and they let us down. 34-20, the Chiefs won it, and it really wasn't much of a game.
The way what the score shows, it wasn't that close.
Right.
I don't know. We can't beat the Chiefs.
Kryptonite, man.
There's a couple
And-
stats that I'm going to throw out there. Lamar only had 97 passing yards. I don't know what his rushing yards was. I don't know if
Oh, it was up there.
So he was probably taking off and running 97 pass yards. The second stat I'm going to throw at you, and this is a good one to know, but like I said, the kryptonite was the word you used. Lamar Jackson is 21-1 in the regular season versus every other NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
He's 0-3 versus the Chiefs. So he's 21-4 overall, but he's 21-1 versus everyone else. 0-3 versus the Chiefs. What's going on there, man?
They got outcoached. I mean, it was
3 times in a row.
Well, that's what Harbaugh said.
They
Harbaugh
keep
said
getting
they're obviously
outcoached.
the better team. I mean, they're.
I mean, just out of the get go, I know, and you've even touched on this. I think it was last week. Their offensive coordinator is pretty damn good.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy. Yep.
And then Andy Reid. I think they were both kind of going back and forth calling plays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even what was it? They went down and scored the first, I think, 4 or 5 drives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they ended up
Stalling.
they stalled. And even they're already up. Their offense coordinator, he's yelling at fucking Mahomes and everybody else
Right.
to keep
Getting a fire under their ass, right.
Which I know, kind of just off topic. I think that'd be perfect for the Vikings.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Right.
I think so. That would be my choice for a coach if they were going to get somebody new.
But biggest thing, going back to the play calling, they were running open routes here. Somebody was always open.
Mm-hmm.
Secondary looked horrible. Everybody was worried about Davon Young got hurt. They were worried about Everett getting burnt. Well, everybody was getting burnt. Humphreys was, Peters. It didn't matter who it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was just rough.
Their offense is just. I mean, every game is just.
Because they were just running. Like, go back to the play calling. I mean, Eric Fisher, left tackle, got a touchdown or receiving touchdown.
Yeah. For the Chiefs.
And I think a stat about that is it went back to he's the first round pick to get a touchdown since, what was it? Was it Keyshawn Johnson?
Yep.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Yep, 1996 or something like that.
But going into Lamar, he missed a couple throws. He underthrew Hollywood, could have been a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
There were some drops too.
And now,
Hollywood,
Mark Andrews dropped.
that touchdown in the end zone, that was all him.
Yeah.
and kind of like you were talking about the Vikings, they kind of lost the run game. You guys kind of got in the second half. You got desperate.
I don't know why.
You lose your run game.
And even same thing with Cowboys.
We all
You have
do it.
Zeke.
We
Why
all
not?
do it.
Everybody wants to get flashy.
Yeah.
I mean, from the get-go, the Ravens aren't built to
Right.
come from behind.
Right, you're not. You're built to play a tight game through all 4 or have a slight lead.
Yeah.
And they
And
go,
come from behind victory isn't Lamar's strong suit.
well, I know what happens is Lamar loses composure, Andrews does, Hollywood does,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're all, what do you do?
Jumbled, right.
Now, watching it, the offensive line wasn't the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lamar was getting pressured back and forth, and he fumbled once, which he shouldn't have.
And there were some
And,
penalties.
you know,
wasn't there, on the
Don't get
offense?
too hard on yourself here because the Chiefs are the best team in the league.
Yeah, they are.
So the Chiefs are 3-0 and they are legitimately the number 1 team in the league.
And just like
so,
you said, 21-1 against everyone else. I think the one loss was the Browns.
Yeah,
My
on
bad.
that one-off game, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, do not get down on yourself just because you're losing to the Chiefs a couple times.
You know you're gonna face them again.
Yeah.
Maybe by
Now,
then
I'm
things will be
hoping,
different.
though, that you guys can get into the playoffs. Find them in the playoffs, and maybe it'll be a little bit different story. So,
Yeah.
But going back to, like you said, abandoning the run, Gus was running all over them. The Chiefs' run defense isn't that great.
Which was the odd choice. I didn't
Which
think he'd be
Gus was averaging 9.8 yards a carry.
damn.
Dobbins was averaging 6, and Ingram was averaging 4. And then I don't know what it is with Roman, but it's the same thing with the Titans. And once they get behind, they want to keep passing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a passing team. Which even going back to these first 3 weeks, they're not running the ball like they were.
Right.
Lamar's throwing the ball more.
Which is, you want him to throw more, but
What the bread and butter? I mean, you had the historic, the most rushing yards last year.
last later, yeah.
It didn't look like the same team.
Mm-mm.
Really, the only change on the offensive line is Yonder retired.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest thing I'd say defensive wise, why the Chargers were successful versus Mahomes, they have Bosa and Ingram, and they can both set the edge.
Mm-hmm.
They do, and they play them twice a year though too. So I mean,
Which it always seems like you struggle more with your inner division, but the Ravens there was no. I mean, Wink was blitzing everybody. Didn't matter who it was. Nobody was setting the edge.
I just think offensively they're too much to deal with sometimes. I mean, there's just too many.
The weapons are good, but hands-wise, they don't really drop the ball. Now,
No.
granted, is that more Mahomes? I don't know.
Well, then they drafted that running back. You know, I mean, and he's pretty damn good now too, and he can catch.
I think in the NFL you have your quarterbacks, but then you have to have the receivers to go along with it. So I think it's a tandem type of thing. Like,
Well, I think the play calling too.
Right, play calling. But you hear other than maybe Brady. I guess Brady doesn't have. He had Moss, but you hear Manning, you think of Harrison, Reggie Wayne.
Yeah.
You hear Joe Montana, you think of Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have your legendary quarterbacks. You always have.
You have at least one.
You have at least one guy that's just never drops the ball.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of feel that it kind of goes both ways. You have your legendary quarterback, but you got to have that receiver to go along with him too. So I think Mahomes is very lucky to have the offense that he has. Those guys are
going
awesome.
in. They kept all 11 starters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the Ravens side, they have nobody that can set the edge.
Right.
And they tried getting Clowney, that didn't work out. They were in it for Yannick, that didn't work out. Really, I think it's Judon's on the franchise tag. He has no sacks, no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Judon's gone. I really think they need to go outside and get a free agent or something. DeCosta, he's known for making moves during the season.
Right. You might have to.
I wouldn't.
Hell, Earl Thomas.
He's available.
You guys just got rid of him.
I know Clay Matthews is a name,
Yeah, he's still out there.
which, I wouldn't even be opposed to bringing back Suggs
Right.
because he's still out there. Part of me kind of thinks that it would have been a different game if we would have had Earl out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Earl's that veteran presence.
You guys won't go get him. You guys
No,
just got rid
I
of
don't.
him.
I don't think that would happen. But
Yeah. You're just saying as far as veteran presence,
Experience-wise.
right.
now I think they're better off with Deshaun Elliott because of your athleticism keeping it. But
You have your one loss.
I'll tell you what, the Chiefs though, that offense is fucking dangerous.
Yes, it is.
We'll see what happens. You're gonna meet him in the playoffs.
Hopefully.
Is that it for the Chiefs Ravens?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so on to our pick'ems. I guess I'll go first because I tried to change it up last week and blah blah blah. I fucking messed up. Sorry about the cursing there.
Oh, don't apologize.
I went 8-8, so I tried to take a couple risky picks and it didn't work out. I'm 29-19 overall, locking down third place here.
Moved my way in a second. I went 10-6. I'm at 30-18 now.
I went 10-6 this week, and I'm at 33-15. Holding
So
down
hey, we've all
first.
got more wins than losses, though.
Yeah,
Hey, So all right, on to the Thursday
Week 4.
night game, Week 4. Broncos at Jets. The bottom barrel 0-3 versus 0-3 teams here.
Oh, this is so hard, man, because
Who's tanking? Who's tanking for Lawrence?
now they're gonna have Brett Rippon play quarterback for the Broncos. Who the hell's that guy?
You know what? I gotta go Jets, man. It's just, I think the Broncos are they're both in shambles,
God,
but I think the
terrible.
Broncos are a little more terrible than the Jets.
I'm surprised they didn't try to flex this game out. This is a terrible ass game.
Yes, it is.
You know?
I don't know why they're keeping that as the.
I
Thursday
enjoy.
game.
I mean, the Dolphins and Jags was going to be better than this game.
Right.
Yeah.
0-3 versus 0-3.
Oh,
I don't know why
to
they're
pick.
not flexing this out.
I guess I'll go Jets just because of the quarterback.
Like that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna
Like
go Jets.
the Broncos just have no quarterback.
I mean, Sam Darnold or Brett Rippon. I mean, I don't even know who that guy is. So.
Are you highlighting him or using a pen?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, he's just trying to give himself all.
He's
the
trying to
wins.
give himself a win. We use the highlighters to
So
confirm the
starting
wins.
off,
Hopefully
the,
that's a good
the
one.
1 o'clock on Sunday. We got the 2-1 Cardinals and the 1-2 Panthers. I got to go Cardinals. I don't think that they're going to drop another one.
Yeah, I'm going Cardinals.
I'm going to go Cardinals as well. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to drop 2 in a row.
Next, we got the 2-1 Colts and
Ooh.
the 3-0 Bears.
This is going to be a good one.
I'm going to go Colts.
Damn it, I was going to go Colts too.
I'm going Colts.
I got to go with Colts. I think Rivers will pull this one
Yeah,
out.
my gut is definitely saying Colts.
Foles is going to get hurt and Trubisky's
I don't
coming
think
back.
I don't think Foles is going to get hurt, but I just think that the Bears have got
I think they've got some lucky wins.
lucky win. That's a good wording there. So I'm going to go Colts there, man.
So we got now the 1-2 Jags and the 0-2-1 Bengals.
I think Burrow gets his first win. I'm going Bengals.
You're thinking like me, bro.
I'm going Bengals.
I gotta go Minshew Mania.
Okay, I'm going Bengals, so that way we got at least one difference there.
That way I can go back into third. So the next one we got the 2-1 Browns and the 1-2 Cowboys.
Cowboys get it straightened back out this week. Cowboys gonna win.
I'm scared to pick them.
I'm scared to pick them too, but I gotta have some confidence in them. This is the Browns. I think if there is a winnable one, I think the Browns is a winnable game.
I know the Browns got a lot of guys out of the defense.
Don't let me change your mind though.
Browns.
You guys choose whoever
You know what?
want.
You know what? I'm picking the Browns.
Oh boy.
I'm picking the Browns.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta pick the Browns.
So I'm the only one on the Cowboys string. I think the Cowboys get it straightened out this week, though. I think the first 3 games have been a little
If you
rough.
don't, it's gonna be the Blue Rifle.
Yes, if we don't get it straightened out and we're 1-3, I guess I'll stay. We need to get Andy Dalton in there.
No.
So the next one we got the 1-2 Saints and the 1-2 Lions.
You know what, bud?
He's gonna go Lions.
I gotta go Saints.
I gotta go.
I'm going Saints.
I'm going Saints. Even though Stafford isn't my
Uh-oh.
comeback player, I'm going Saints.
Who got this next one? You better introduce this one.
0-3 Vikings at the 0-3 Texans. Texans have looked really bad. Vikings actually looked decent last week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Vikings.
I'm gonna go Vikings. I think the Texans look.
What?
He's
Yeah.
gonna go.
I'm gonna. You talked me into it. I'm going Vikings. Like you said, Texans just look bad. Vikings have at least been competitive. I think this is the Vikings get their first win.
So now we got the 3-0 Seahawks at the 1-2 Fitzmagic.
Does the beard pull the impossible? I don't think so. I'm going Seahawks. Russell Wilson, 14 touchdowns through 3 games. I don't think he's going to get cooled off. I'm calling another 2 or 3 touchdowns. Maybe 2 through the air and 1 on the ground.
Then we got the 1-2 Chargers at the 2-1 Buccaneers.
I gotta go with Buck.
I'm going Buccaneers too. I think Tom
I'm
Brady's looked sharp the last couple of weeks. So.
I'm kind of worried though about the Chargers defense.
See, here's the thing: the Chargers went toe to toe with the Chiefs, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do that
Division
with Brady.
rival, though.
Right, division rival. I'm going Bucks.
Next one we got the battle of 3-0s. We got the Steelers and the Titans.
I hate to do this
Now-
to you, bud.
Depending on if this game gets played.
Well, that's true too.
Oh, because the Titans and the 8 players. If it does get played, I'm going Steelers.
I think the Steelers will win.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers have kind of turned it around this year. They got Roethlisberger back. It looks like a whole different Steelers team than it did last year.
Yeah.
Titans have still looked good, but I think the Titans drop 1 this week.
Next one we got the 2-1 Ravens at the 1-2.
No, don't even say that. It's Ravens, but Ravens are gonna get it back on track, 31-10. They're gonna blow them out.
I feel they'll blow them out. But
The Ravens are pissed.
Yeah.
They're gonna come out with fierceness.
Then we got the Sunday late game.
Oh, man.
The 0-3 Giants at the 2-1 Rams.
Rams.
It's the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going Rams here. The Giants are in shambles.
So pretty much it'll be Darnold.
Not
Daniel
Darnold,
Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Oh, Aaron Donald's gonna be tearing that.
Oh,
Oh, Aaron. I got you.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald. I thought you were talking about Darnold.
He's gonna
for
be
the
all
Jets.
over the field.
Then the next game, we got the 2-1 Patriots at the 3-0 Chiefs.
I'm gonna go Chiefs.
I go Chiefs.
Now,
Yep, Chiefs
I
as
do
well.
think if there was a team right now that probably beat him, I think Belichick probably could.
Yeah,
I think
Belichick
could
is
play
a-
that.
He could outcoach them. It could happen. I'm still going to go Chiefs. I just don't think the Patriots have enough, but I agree. I think that sneakily the Patriots
I think that,
could pull this out.
And you know what? going back to the Raiders, and what did Belichick do? He ran the ball.
Yeah.
If they were able to get Sony, Burkhead, and White going, that's the biggest way to beat the Chiefs is if you can keep Mahomes off the field.
Slow the game down.
Yeah.
It's boring, but don't be flashy. Just produce.
I mean, and having Newton along with that rushing attack, I could see it happening as an upset.
I could too. I honestly could. The next one, the 3-0 Bills at the 2-1 Raiders.
As much as I like the Raiders, the Bills are just, there's too much on offense there.
Allen's playing like an MVP.
And the defense of the Raiders is kind of struggling right now, so
I'm struggling with this one because I thought the Raiders had looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They do. They have their moments, but that
week-
offense of the Bills is.
What was the score last week in that Raiders game? Wasn't it? It was a tight game, wasn't it? It wasn't a blowout.
It was 36-20.
30. So it was a blowout. Okay, you talked me into the Bills.
And I
was literally gonna.
I
take
think the Bills' offense is a little better than the Patriots.
I was gonna take
offense
I was gonna take the Raiders until you talked me into it.
So going on, we got the Sunday night header.
Mm.
The 0-2-1 Eagles and the 2-1 Niners.
Now here's a question: the Thursday night game, 0-3 versus 0-3. Why didn't they flex like the Colts and Bears into that Thursday night game? Then why didn't they flex the Sunday night out of the Sunday? 0-2 and 1 Eagles. I mean, it looks good on paper at the beginning of the season, but when you're 0-2 and 1, you should flex him out of there, man.
I think Nick Mullins gets it.
So we got the 49er bench warmers versus the Eagles.
And the
I'm going 49ers, but
I'm going Niners.
like you said, as far as, the Eagles do have a little more health. So I don't know. I think the Eagles could do it like how the Patriots could beat the Chiefs. I think the Eagles could pull this off, but I'm taking the 49ers.
No.
Then we have the Monday night header. We have the 0-3 Falcons and the 3-0 Packers.
Gotta go Packers, bud.
I think this one's gonna get ugly.
Yep. Now the Falcons have fallen apart the last couple weeks. I do not think that's the case this week. I think the Packers either stay with them early and then take it off late, or the Packers just run away with it and never lose the lead. I don't think the Falcons are going to have much of a shot.
This week's games, there's a lot of clear, cut and dry winners
Right.
and losers. I mean, on paper.
On paper,
that's what
right.
it looks like, but
We shall see what our win-loss looks like next week.
I think that's about it. We've been on over here more than an hour, right?
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Jeez.
right at an hour. We started at like 55.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
So that's it. Anything else?
I think that's it.
So I guess tune in next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday around 6 o'clock.
Maybe
We'll still
5.
be here.
Yeah,
Maybe
5:55 maybe.
I don't know.
But all right, you guys like and subscribe.
Check out our YouTube. See you later.
Go Heat.
See you later.
Go
Go Cowboys.
Lakers.